December Community Day is going to be packed with a lot of really good shiny Pokemon and bonuses. This is the final Community Day of this year, and it's going to be the biggest one yet. I'm going to be telling you which Pokemon you should focus on during this 2-day event, and which Community Day moves are the most important. Right, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Okay, let's talk about December Community Day. So, I recently made a video going over what would be happening for this event, but that info was based on some infographics that didn't have all of the information. There was definitely a lot of stuff that changed since the last video, especially related to what exclusive moves you will get. I will go over every single one of the exclusive moves later in this video, but first, let's recap the details of this event. I will also be providing some tips along the way, so make sure you watch the whole thing. The 2-day event is going to be happening this weekend from Saturday, December 17th until Sunday, December 18th. The bonuses and boosted shiny rates will be happening between 2 o'clock PM to 5 o'clock PM local time on each day. It's extremely important that you do not miss out on these bonuses, as they are going to be some of the best we will have for a while. There will be 2 times the amount of experience per catch, 2 times the amount of Stardust per catch, half distance for hatching eggs, 2 times the amount of candy per catch, and double the chance to get XL candy for trainers who are level 31 or higher. Lure modules and incense that are activated between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock will last for 3 hours. Also keep in mind that if you want to utilize the half distance for hatching eggs, you will need to start incubating them after 2 o'clock PM, but before 5 o'clock PM on each day. Otherwise, they will go the full distance. You will also be able to do 1 additional special trade, and the Stardust cost for trades will be cut in half. These particular trade-related bonuses will be from 9 o'clock AM to 9 o'clock PM on each day. Make sure you mark your calendars for all of these bonuses, because you do not want to miss out on any of them. The featured Pokemon for this Community Day is going to be every single Community Day Pokemon that we got this year, including the 3 Community Day Classics. All of them will be spawning in the wild between 9 AM to 9 PM on each day, and their shiny rate will be slightly boosted. However, between 2 PM and 5 PM on each day, you will see boosted spawns and the usual Community Day shiny rate for a certain number of Pokemon. On Saturday, December 17th, you are going to see Kanto Sandshrew, Alolan Sandshrew, Alolan Geodude, Hoppip, Spheal, and Stuffle. On Sunday, December 18th, you will see Teddiursa, Galarian Zigzagoon, Starly, Roggenrola, Litwick, and Dino. On both days during these special hours, you will see the 3 Community Day Classic Pokemon spawning as well, and these include Bulbasaur, Mudkip, and Dratini. Now throughout both days of the event, you will be able to obtain the Pokemon from last year's Community Days through raids and hatching eggs. These include Machop, Eevee, Roselia, Swablu, Duskull, Shinx, Gible, Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott, and Fletchling. Alright, now that I got all of that out of the way, let's now talk about these exclusive moves. Now in my previous video, I mentioned how you would not be able to get the Community Day exclusive moves from evolving any of the Pokemon from last year. Well, it looks like that all changed recently. Let's now talk about what each Pokemon will get when you evolve them, and whether or not it is worth getting. Some of the Pokemon get improved quite a bit, while others not so much. Also, don't forget you can only get these exclusive moves through evolutions. You will not be able to get them through regular TMs, even during these special hours. As long as you evolve whatever Community Day Pokemon during the hours of 9 AM to 9 PM local time on either day of the event, you will get the move. If you evolve Ivysaur into Venusaur during this event, it will learn the Grass-type move Frenzy Plant. I suggest you get your highest IV Venusaur with this move, because it is going to be solid with its Mega Evolution. Also, if you happen to be holding on to any Shadow Bulbasaurs from the last group of Team Go Rocket leader battles, and you already removed frustration off of them, then this event will be a really good time to evolve them. Next, if you evolve Kanto Sandshrew during this event, it will learn the Dark-type attack Night Slash. This is not at all too impactful from a gameplay perspective, so treat this as low priority. However, the Alolan Sandslash will gain a very powerful fast attack when you evolve into it, and it will be Shadow Claw. This actually gives Alolan Sandslash some relevance in specialty cups in the Go Battle League, so don't miss out on this one. Next up, if you evolve Machoke during this event, it will learn the Dark type attack Payback. Unfortunately, this move doesn't move the needle in terms of Machamp's relevance, as the other moves in its move pool are considered better for PvP and PvE. Thus, this one is low priority. If you evolve Alolan Graveler during this event, it will learn the Rock type Fast Attack Rollout. This does actually improve Alolan Golem, but not enough for it to roll into the meta of any of the Go Battle League formats. Thus, don't worry if you forget to evolve for it. Now, if you evolve Eevee during this event, it will learn any of the following moves depending on which Eevee evolution you get. If you evolve into Vaporeon, it will learn the Water type attack Scald. If you evolve into Jolteon, it will get the Electric type attack Zap Cannon. If you evolve into Flareon, it will get the Fighting type attack Super Power. If you evolve into Espeon, it will get the Ghost type attack Shadow Ball. If you evolve into Umbreon, it will gain the Psychic type attack Psychic. If you evolve into Leafeon, it will get the Grass type attack Bullet Seed. If you evolve into Glaceon, it will get the Water type attack Water Pulse. And finally, if you evolve into Sylveon, it will get the Psychic type attack Psyshock. Oh, and any Eevee that you catch or hatch during the event will have the move Last Resort. Now, out of all of these Eevee evolutions, the ones that will benefit the most will be Umbreon and Sylveon. All the other Eevee evolutions do get some improvements, but not enough to make them relevant. Umbreon gets a lot of type coverage with Psychic, which makes it slightly better than it already is in the Ultra League, while Last Resort would be better for it in the Great League. Giving it Psychic could still throw your opponents off, so do keep that in mind. In terms of Sylveon, it can be an absolute powerhouse in the Great League if it is running Psyshock. You should definitely get this one at least. I would say you should get your best Eevees in your collection ready to evolve into either Umbreon and Sylveon. In order to get Umbreon, you need to have the Eevee as your buddy, walk 10 kilometers with it, and collect 2 candies from walking. Once that is fulfilled, keep it as your buddy and evolve it when it is nighttime. You can actually see the silhouette of Umbreon on the Evolve button if you fulfilled all of these requirements. Don't evolve the Eevee if you don't see it. Now, in order to get Sylveon, you need to have it as your buddy and accumulate 70 hearts. Depending on when you are watching this video, you may not get enough hearts for this evolution, but if you are able to max out the amount of hearts you can get for the next 3 days, you should be okay before Sunday. If anything, use those Poffins that are collecting dust in your item bag space. Okay, now that we covered the Eevee evolutions, let's move on to the rest of the Pokemon. If you evolve Dragonair into Dragonite, you will get the Dragon type attack Draco Meteor. Now, even though this is a super hard hitting Dragon type attack, it is actually not the strongest attack in Dragonite's arsenal. Thus, you don't have to prioritize getting this move. If you evolve Skiploom during this event, you will get the Flying type attack Acrobatics. This move actually improves Jumpluff quite a bit for the Go Battle League. If you have a good Hoppip with PvP IVs, you should definitely evolve it during the event. Next up, if you evolve Staravia into Staraptor during this event, you will get the Flying type attack Gust. Unfortunately, this doesn't move the needle for Staraptor. It won't dethrone the top tier flying types like Moltres. However, Shadow Staraptor will actually be among the best. If you have a high IV Shadow Starly with Frustration removed, definitely evolve it. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about this move. Now, if you evolve Luxio during this event, you will get a Luxray with the Psychic type attack Psychic Fangs. This Pokemon wasn't relevant before it got a Community Day, and it's still irrelevant afterwards. You can skip this one. If you evolve Roselia during this event, you will get both the Fire-type Charge Attack Weather Ball and the Grass-type Fast Attack Bullet Seed. Out of these two moves, Bullet Seed is the one that improves Roserade as a Grass-type raid attacker, while Weather Ball gives it some type coverage in PvP. But it ranks pretty low in the Go Battle League, and there are plenty of really good Grass-type raid attackers out there. You probably don't have to prioritize this one. If you evolve Dusclops during this event, you will get a Dusknoir with the Ghost-type Charge Attack Shadow Ball. This vastly improves this Pokemon, but it will still pale in comparison to the other top tier Ghost types. You can still evolve for this move, but it won't be a high priority. Now let's get into the Generation 5 starters, as they all received Community Days last year. If you evolve Servine during this event, you will get a Serperior with the move Frenzy Plant. If you evolve Tepig during this event, you will get Emboar with Blast Burn. And if you evolve Duat during this event, you will get a Samurott with Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately, all three of these Pokemon are not as good as others with their typing, even with these Community Day moves. You can still evolve them for those exclusive moves, but it's not going to push them to the top of the list. Next up, if you evolve Boldore during this event, you will get the Rock type attack Meteor Beam. Now, when Roggenrola Community Day was first announced, many of the top players predicted that Gigalith with Meteor Beam would be a bit of a disappointment. Well, they were right. Evolving for this move is not really that important, so you can skip this one. If you evolve Lampent during this event, you will get a Chandelure with the Ghost type move Poltergeist. This charge attack is really powerful, but Chandelure has a much better move for raids in its arsenal. This move is, of course, Shadow Ball. Thus, you don't necessarily have to worry about getting this move. I would instead just focus on finding a high IV Litwick and evolving it later for Shadow Ball. If you evolve Stuffle during this event, you will get Beware with the fighting type attack Drain Punch. This is pretty good for Beware, as it gives it a decent charge attack for the Go Battle League. However, it will at most be a good Pokemon for Specialty Cups. Otherwise, you won't really find it useful for the Great League or the Ultra League. I would say evolve a Stuffle with good PvP IVs for this move, but it's not absolutely necessary. Now, the remaining Pokemon in this video are all vastly improved by their Community Day moves, to the point where you will actually want them. Whether it's for PvE or PvP, these Pokemon with their Community Day moves are going to be fantastic. Take note of the following Pokemon, because you will for sure want to evolve them during this event. If you evolve Marshtomp into Swampert, it will learn the Water-type move Hydro Cannon. Now, this is a big one. You will definitely want to get this move on whatever good Swamperts you have. If you have a Mudkip with IVs that are good for either the Ultra League or Great League, don't forget to evolve it. If you have a 100% IV Mudkip, evolve it as well. With Mega Swampert recently released, you will for sure want a really good Swampert with Hydro Cannon in your collection. It is an absolute monster for raids. If you evolve Swablu during the event, you will get an Altaria with the Fairy type attack Moonblast. Considering that Altaria is one of the top Great League Pokemon with this move, you will absolutely not want to miss it. If you evolve Celio during this event, you will get the Ice type attacks Powder Snow and Icicle Spear. This is a pretty big one. Walrein was completely irrelevant before it received a Community Day. With both of these moves, it is a top tier Pokemon for the Great League and Ultra League. Unfortunately, Niantic decided to nerf Icicle Spear recently, thus Walrein fell off a little bit. But it is still a very good Pokemon for PvP. You should definitely evolve for these moves. If you evolve Gabite during this event, you will get a Garchomp with the powerful ground type attack Earth Power. This move makes Garchomp one of the best ground types in the game. It is an essential move for both raids and PvP, thus it is easily one of the moves you need to get during this event. If you evolve Zweilous into Hydreigon during this event, you will get the move Brutal Swing. Now, just like Garchomp with Earth Power, Hydreigon becomes the best non-Mega and non-Shadow Dark type with Brutal Swing. Even if you don't have a high IV Dino, you will still want to get a bunch of Hydreigons with this move. If you evolve Fletchinder during this event, you will get a Talonflame with the Fire type move Incinerate. This move makes Talonflame an absolute monster in the Great League and Ultra League. If you have a 100% IV Fletchling, evolve it during this event. A maxed out perfect IV Talonflame with Incinerate is going to be top tier in the Ultra League, and a Talonflame with PvP IVs and the fast attack Incinerate is going to be great for the Great League. You don't want to miss out on that. If you evolve Galarian Linoone during this event, you will get an Obstagoon with the dark type attack Obstruct. This is the signature move for Obstagoon. While it won't be a good move for raids and PvE content, it will make Obstagoon incredibly annoying to deal with in the Great League and Ultra League. If you have a PvP ready Galarian Zigzagoon, make sure you evolve it during this event. And finally, if you evolve Ursaring during this event, you will get the powerful ground type attack High Horsepower. Ursaluna with High Horsepower is currently not top tier, unfortunately. However, there is a possibility that this Pokemon could be at the top of the meta if it were to ever get the fast attack Shadow Claw. You will want an Ursaluna with its Community Day exclusive move before that ever happens. One thing you should note is that you will only be able to evolve Ursaring into Ursaluna during a full moon. In terms of the Community Day event, that will be between the hours of 2 PM on Saturday until 6 AM on Sunday. You will also get time to evolve for this Pokemon from 2 PM on Sunday until 9 PM on Sunday. So just to recap, you will want to prioritize Mudkip, Swablu, Spheal, Gible, Dino, Fletchling, Galarian Zigzagoon, and Teddy Ursa during this Community Day. Collect as much candy and XL candy as possible for these Pokemon, and see if you can get the ideal IVs for all of them. Some of them will take you further in PvP, while others will be essential for raids. Overall, just make sure you focus on these particular Pokemon. You won't regret it. Let's end this video by going over a handful of tips. One very useful tool that I believe gets underutilized is Niantic Campfire. You can use it to find the location of 100% IV Pokemon around you as long as other users are reporting them. My suggestion is that during this community day, have Niantic Campfire open on your phone so you can check the map frequently. It's actually how I got some of my most recent hundos, as their positions were reported on Campfire. This could be a way for you to get a shundo legitimately, so make sure you don't forget to check Campfire constantly during the event. Also, don't forget about the paid special research and the time research that will be available for this community day. If you are willing to pay for it, the special research could net you a really high IV or even a perfect IV of any of the 2022 Community Day Pokemon. That's something to think about if you really want a shundo. Another tip for this weekend is to make sure you use whatever premium items you have to increase Stardust, experience, and spawn rates. This obviously means you will want star pieces, lucky eggs, and incense running around the clock. This will be the one time of the year where you're going to be getting a ton of these bonuses simultaneously, so make sure you optimize them as much as possible. Overall, I really think Niantic did a good job with December Community Day this year. While some would argue that it is simply just following the same formula we've seen in previous years, I do think the stakes are much higher this year. There's a lot of top tier PvP Pokemon and raid Pokemon. You will want to farm up as much as possible during this event. It should be a great time, and I do hope it sets the stage for a phenomenal 2023. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Leave your thoughts down below what you think about this community day. Which of the community day moves are you going to go after? Let me know down below, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.